Hello everyone, CPAT here with another Exceed commentary, and I kind of screwed things up a little bit. So I accidentally hit the stop recording button. Maybe I'll splice it together. Hopefully I'll splice it together. I don't know. But we're back with some playoff action in Chimera Summer Bash. Yes, we have reached the playoffs. This is going to be a match between champ21bell on red side, bringing out the Rachel. And it's going to be Chykka on blue side, bringing out the Vega. So this is a best of 5 match. Sorry, I'm just responding to a DM there. But this is a best of 5 match, so we are in for a while. I missed the first, I don't know, looks like 15 minutes of it or so. But we are here. We are back in action. We are well fed. We are ready to go. Vega versus Rachel. This is an interesting matchup. Rachel's a character who can perform well at range, right? So she has flying. She has the Lobelias, which are both fireball-ish shapes. I mean, 2 to 5 at 5 speed, 3 to 6 at 4 speed. Fireballs. I mean, low damage, but they're fireballs. She's a ranged ultra. She's 2 ranged ultras as well, actually. She's a character that can perform well at range. And additionally, we have Vega, who of course thrives at range, especially when starting from the corner. Looks like we have an assault being red, but that whiffs. Assault, of course, at range 4, so the assault wouldn't hit. So this is probably Rachel going for a slow, like maybe a spike, maybe an electric chair, that sort of thing. I feel like maybe the RCF will respond well to anything. As will the Flying Barcelona might actually respond well as well, depending on whether Chykka thinks that this can't be, I don't know. I guess Rachel doesn't really have like a speed. She has no gauge. So the only issue with playing the Flying Barcelona is that this could, in theory, be the Flying Lobelia to outspeed the assault. So yeah, you have to respond with the EXRCF to try to outspeed it, and yeah, that was the case. So Chykka looked like he was mousing over that Flying Barcelona, which would pop any slow designed to beat the assault. However, the RCF is at functional speed 8, which beats the speed 7 of the Flying Lobelia. Needs to be validated with Rachel's last card. So now Rachel has no resources left, no gauge, and no hand to speak of. She does have lightning rods across the board. Sorry, we're just figuring out some things here. Looks like this was declined. So Flying Lobelia is a cleanup effect, right? But for some reason, Rachel did not want to trigger it. Right. So Flying Lobelia, regardless of whether it's stunned or not, you still get the lightning rod down. Of course, lightning rods are. We'll take a look at Rachel's character card here. Once per turn is an action, spend up to 2 force to close the retreat that much. But your lightning rods are face down cards on the board. I mean, they are known, so I think you just peek at them. Which are after, you may return this from the opponent's base to deal 2 non-lethal damage. Important thing about it being after, of course, is the fact that they can, while they can't kill you, they can contribute to stun. This is something that I forget all the time when I'm fighting a Rachel. The fact that these guys, these characters like Rachel or like Eugenia, these non-lethal damages, they do still commit to stun. Anyway, we see Chykka boosting Fierce here, obviously hand revealed. So got rid of the normal just fine. Rachel preps. Chykka interestingly preps. I mean, had a pretty good strike there, I guess. And like a decent-ish mix-up, but not incredibly safe. So allowing Rachel to kind of come back with the resources, but now choosing to strike. So there's a known Scarlet Terror, and there's a known, I think it was a Bloody High Claw, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, a Bloody High Claw and a known Flying Barcelona. So we do have a little bit of a mix-up here for Vega. Interestingly, not opting for crit. So at range 4, Rachel's options are obviously the Lobelias, Flying, and a Tiny. Tempest Dahlia, of course, requires Gauge. And then obviously a Dive. Or maybe wanting to catch a Rachel throwing a slow. I mean, so like in that case, Vega could throw like a Pounce, I guess. But for Rachel, like, she doesn't have, like, depending on how many Lobelias are down, which I'm assuming if Chykka did not crit, that must mean that both Flying Lobelias are down. Otherwise, both sides of the mix-up that Chykka's representing would be stuffed by the Flying Lobelia, of course, right? Wonder if this is actually... I mean, it just depends on these discards. I haven't... So I missed, like I said, and like you guys know, since you guys sat in silence, I missed the first, like, 20 minutes of the game. So I don't actually know what cards have been dropped and what cards haven't been. I'm assuming that both Flying Lobelias have been dropped. Rachel go for the Wild Swing. Grasp is not going to work, and it's actually the Ultra, the Splendid Claw. So there goes Rachel's hand economy again. Makes sense why Chykka was totally happy with prepping. Should be +2 damage on that. Yeah, okay, done. So that's explains totally why Chykka was happy with just letting Rachel prep over and over again, because he's going for the Splendid Claw. Spends Gauge, pulls EX Whirlwind and Tiny Lobelia. Like, whatever. I mean, so this is a pretty bad hand for the current situation. Although Rachel in general is just in such a terrible position. Like, Rachel's kind of one super big weakness is just the fact that when she's unable to play her game and get the juices flowing, she's just looks so bad. Like, she's a good character, she's a very strong character, don't get me wrong, but when things don't work out for you, it looks really bad for Rachel. As we see a crit strike come out from Vega. Let me, like, a Pounce. Yep, there's the Pounce. Pounce will go first hit for 5, and that's game. This sweep feels like it lost everything. Like, just like a G, it's like a concession, basically, this sweep. Although, to be fair, like, how are you going to beat a Pounce? Yeah, Assault Spike in hand. Nothing there. So Vega, Chykka's Vega takes game 1. Reminder, this is a best of 5 set. So we're going to be here for a while, or we do have the potential to be here for a while. Chykka, up 1-0, can no longer use the Vega, so has to win with the fight, the Clover, or the Carmine. Champ can run it back with the Rachel, or can play Zangief, Plague, or Gordel. So this is actually the first time I'm casting Champ, maybe ever. I feel like I haven't casted him this tournament so far. I know he does, or they do post a lot of their POV footage on their YouTube channel. So it's not like they've been on. It's not like their games are just like mysteries, right? The games are not mysteries. Just that I know I have been able to cast them. I think Migo casted maybe one game of them. But I mean, hey, we're in top 8. All these players have to have some semblance of skill, right? They're in order to make top 8 in an Exceed tournament. I mean, Champ had to go, and you had to get 4 wins, right? In a maximum of 6 games. So Champ was in the tiebreak round. He went 3-2 in pools. And then I believe he beat, I don't remember who he beat. But up until this moment where he just lost, he was 10-5 in his games. So obviously a player with skill, right? They're no chumps here. We're gonna see the Clover into the Plague Knight. Chykka loves this Clover. Has done quite well with him in the tournament, but to be fair, I think has mostly faced players that don't really know how to deal with Clover. So we'll take a look. And we have Champ on the Plague Knight. So Plague is actually, we've casted quite a bit of Plague so far in the tournament. Plague is actually the second most played character in this tournament behind Carmine. I believe Carmine so far is 25 games played, or 26 games played as Carmine. And Plague has been played so far 17 times, if I'm looking at the stats correctly right now. So Plague, quite a popular character. We don't really need to. Well, actually, we'll take a look because I mean both these players are slow. They're still setting up, but Plague obviously has the ability to graft triggers onto his attacks, basically just like mixed concoctions of attacks. It's super cool. It's like a super interesting concept. It says at random, but ideally it's not random at all. You're just dropping a bunch of cards. Plague is a quite bursty character. So if we take a look at these super boosts here, or these ultra boosts, Super Serum Supernus and Berserker's Brew, Plague can just draft big numbers, right? +2, +2, +2, 3 force. But on top of that, he's got the reloads, right? I mean, he's got draw a card here. He's got draw a billion cards on this, both sides of this card. And he's got after draw till you have 4 on here as well. I think he's got after draw a card on triple dose as well. Yeah. So yeah, Plague is a character with really, really good economy that just hits you hard like 4 times, and then hopefully you're almost dead. Clover, on the other hand, is like a weird grappler character. Nirvana's the grappler here. So Carl Clover's a puppet character. So with that, a lot of Carl's attacks, namely Brio, Foco, Anima, Volante, and the Astral and Rhapsody Memories. So these all calculate range from Nirvana. So Nirvana is basically the grappler in this scenario, right? When Carl establishes a Nirvana placement such that the opponent is in between Carl and Nirvana, or on top of Nirvana, Carl gets +1 power, +1 speed on specials and ultras. As we see the run boosts come out, Clover moves into range 1. Range 1, of course, Plague does have a couple options here. The Staff Surging is pretty scary, ignore guard. And then the Giant Bomb is basically a sweep-like. Beats other sweeps at range 3. Fun fact. But yeah, optimal Carl Nirvana positioning is like Carl somewhere far away, and Nirvana up close with the opponent in between them. Now, notably, one really, really bad quirk about Nirvana is that she can be disabled. So for Carl Clover is the only puppet character whose puppet can be disabled, right? So how does it work? Well, the opponent's attack as before. If Nirvana's in your space or range, you may flip her. If you do, you cannot hit, but add this to your gauge after the strike. So assuming there are certain properties, there's certain cards where Nirvana can't be flipped, right? So for example, Rhapsody Memories, Deus Ex Machina, or the backside. And we're going to see Plague just full sending it. So, I mean, this is... We have not seen a Plague do this, really, in tournament yet, or at least the Plagues that we've casted. A Plague had a hand of 6 cards, and Champ says, okay, you can tag any one of these. You can attach the triggers on any one of these to my attack, right? So Champ's attack will have before close to hit gain advantage. That's pretty saucy. That's pretty spicy. You don't normally see a lot of Plague Knights who are playing at a high level do this kind of thing. But Champ says, okay, my hand is decent enough that I don't mind losing a card. And, I mean, got a decent reward on it. I mean, hit gain advantage is good. And it's going to be the... Okay, so the Giant Bomb will go first. We'll hit 4 or 5. And then the Volante will miss, because Giant Bomb pushes Plague Knight forward. And then on top of that, Plague will gain... What? Why are you moving back? What? No. This is super... What? Why are we getting hit by Volante? Champ could have... Okay, so Champ clearly doesn't know how to... Doesn't know Answer Clover very well. So Champ could have moved forward, right? Clover was here, and Plague was here. Plague could have moved forward and caused this Volante to miss. Volante calculates range from Nirvana. It's one of those specials, right? So Plague would have been at range 2 from Nirvana. Oh, okay, never mind. I thought, sorry, yeah, I forgot that, Okay, yeah. Sorry, my bad. Okay, yeah, sorry. I thought Volante had yoinked the advantage back, but Plague ended up being at range 2 from Carl, so this hit trigger didn't matter. Okay, back to Plague here. Striking again at range 1. Maybe sees the Fierce Boost dropped, and then is going for a Staff of Surging. I think if I was Chykka, I'd try to respond with a Focus here. No, we're just blocking. The offensive block to try to tech the +2 power. Poor man's tech it. I'm not a huge fan of this, personally. Yeah, this is 8 power. Because so we have +2 from Volante, we have +2 from Fierce, and we have +1 from Nirvana being active. Unfortunately for Chykka, playing Volante here means that he loses the sandwich, which is kind of awkward. Right, because Carl's forced to advance 1 or 2, which is weird. Maybe, I don't know what, maybe he's just okay losing the sandwich here. On this, I mean, he basically just played Focus, right? Right? Hits, what, 1 to 3? He played a Focus with 3 range and 8 power. So he played Sweep with 7 defenses, I guess is more accurate. So maybe he thought that losing the sandwich was worth it in that scenario. Because he will be forced to advance 1 or 2. However, he does yoink advantage. So he probably just is okay spending force to retake the corner. Carl loves this kind of positioning, although probably the Nirvana needs to be closer. With Carl in the clover, or Carl in the corner, excuse me. Baby Plague should be a little bit far away. But yeah, basically Clover in a position where like Plague can't cross them over, to get out of the sandwich, right? As we see Prep come out back to Chykka here. So yeah, I wonder how this will go, because it looked like, I mean, Champ's early plays, anti-Clover plays, have been a little strange to me. Like, chose to get hit by the Volante, although I guess it was only 3 power. And then dropping that early block as an offensive tech, almost. I don't know. We see Clover perform what I call the Nirvana prep, because it actually doesn't draw you a card. It just moved Nirvana 1 space. I call it Nirvana prep because it's, I don't know, because I'm dumb. But yeah, as an action, you may move Nirvana 1 space. Nirvana is slowly coming. At range 4, Nirvana does have a move. Confoco. 1 to 2, 6, 4, no defenses. But you may spend 1 force to move Nirvana 1 or 2 spaces. So this hits all the way from range 4. Pretty scary card. In the sandwich can be 7 power, popping sweeps, so I mean, gains advantage as well. It does cost a force. But we are going to see the second Castle Crasher boosted Serum Supernus. Both Serum Supernus is down early. For Plague Knight here. So basically, these kind of Ultra Boosts, right, they're very expensive, but they allow Plague Knight to graft a card that's not so random, right? So let's see what we get. And it's obviously it's going to be the chain reaction after draw until you have 4 cards in hand. So free reload on this. We have +2 power, +2 speed, +2 armor, now strike. The Yomi level 0 threat, which doesn't do a whole lot of damage, is the Staff of Surging, which is a 1/4/8 ignored guard. Let's see if that's where we have here. Nope, it's just the 1/6/7 assault. Chykka opts to block it, which is, I mean, at least he doesn't take damage, but Plague Knight will be getting advantage. Chykka spends the Letalis Cantata, takes no damage, builds up the 3rd gauge. Plague can now draw 4 cards, as per the after, and gains advantage, of course, off the assault. Looks like these guys are actually not in voice chat, interestingly enough. I feel like most of the games that I see, people are in voice chat, but I guess neither of them are. using the text chat to communicate. Anyway, Plague yoinks advantage. And looks like it's opting to exceed here. So basically, Plague's exceed very cheap. Only costs two gauge, especially on a character that whose game plan doesn't necessarily revolve around using these ultras. Right? These ultras are good, right? I mean, triple dose is a funny trick shot move, but that like sometimes hits for 17. And Castle Crusher, I mean, can't ignore ignores armor, right? But it's like a fireball shape. But outside of that, like, especially with these ultra boosts being so prevalent in the Plague Knight meta these days, you don't really see these ultras played so much. So, I mean, spending the gauge for exceeding is definitely a no-brainer for Plague. Plague can now affix 2 cards, one at a time as well, which is super good. You can graft even more disgustingly ugly attacks with this trigger, right? It's absolutely insane. Right, so now you can reload more efficiently as well because you're dropping 2 cards and then you tack on the after on chain reaction. And it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. Anyway, Plague. Looks like Clover prepped. Yep, Clover prepped, and Plague boosted Fierce plus 2 power. Back to Clover here. Doesn't have the sandwich quite yet, but can get the sandwich super easily if he just spends 2 forests. I don't think it's a bad idea. I think sandwich is super good. The other thing is Nirvana is kind of a little bit. This is one of the issues with Clover, right? Nirvana is just kind of chilling here. She's very slow to come to the action in a lot of cases, right? I mean, so we have Hurry Sis as a boost to move her. We have this action to move her. And then we have Lock Campanella, basically. Move Nirvana into another space, take another action. Like, this is expensive and not super worth it in a lot of cases. This is also expensive and not super worth it in a lot of cases. So Nirvana she's slow, right? She's a real grappler, right? She's incredibly slow. So it's just gonna be these positions where this happens a lot, right? Where this Nirvana is just like not into play yet, right? So it just means that you don't have to worry about a lot of Clover's cards. So the way Chykka plays Clover is that he'll try to brawl with the Clover character, and then if the opponent ever tries to run away, then that's where the Nirvana goes through, as we see a no UA strike. Chykka just going for the super safe cross at speed 8 to no sell anything. Makes sense into the Fierce, right? Don't wanna accidentally die. This cross was perfectly safe against everything. Deal 1 damage. Focus will draw a card. But Chykka does spend a light for that. Clover now just like at range 4 as well. Range 4, decent range for Plague Knight, has a Fireball at 5 speed, which does 5 damage. It does cost a Force, but I mean, and it costs 2 Force if you want to make it 5 damage, but well worth it. For a 5 speed Fireball. Just another tool in a little bit of a toolbox kit, right, for Plague. I mean, Plague has an Ignore Guard. Plague has a Sweep-like. Plague has like a pseudo DP. I mean, it only hits range 2, but you only kind of need it to hit range 2 anyway. And then has the Ignore Guard, and then has the Fireball, and then has a Chain Reaction, which is the reload. Right, so this is a pretty well-rounded kit. So just another tool in a pretty well-rounded kit. Plague definitely one of the strongest characters in Season 4. If not the strongest. I don't know if people agree whether Plague Knight is the strongest character. I think he's one of the strongest. I don't know if he is the strongest. I think he's got some good competition with a couple of other characters. Maybe only one other character, but good kit overall. Means that Clover can't strike with like a Foco here, because that'll just get popped super easily. Is he willing to Nirvana action again? Put that Nirvana on center. I don't know. Feels like really slow. I guess so. So the difference between range 3 and range 4 is nothing. For Nirvana, the one special that looked like it would affect Cantabile doesn't actually work, because Cantabile is the one special that does not calculate from Nirvana, right? So there's no functional difference between range 3 and range 4. There's a functional difference between range 2 and range 3, but that is incredibly slow, right? So I mean, this is giving Plague time to build resources after spending like a decent amount, but at the same time, like Clover's just not a good character, man. Just not a strong character at all. I don't know. It just feels a little bit like past turn for now. Maybe there's a setup in the future. I mean, I guess this means that if Plague wants to like dive in, right? Because Plague outside of long pitch isn't really a functional long range character, whereas Clover can be. So maybe at some point this will force, as Champ just preps, maybe at some point this will force Champ to move in with the Plague, right? To attempt to brawl with the Clover. I mean, it's incredibly slow pressure. It is pressure, right? You can't say it's not pressure, but it's just incredibly slow pressure. That can be just negated so easily with this before effect that Nirvana grants to the opponent. So we just see Clover exceed. Okay, so when Clover exceeds, Nirvana actually gets to hustle. So we'll take a look at this exceed side. Only costs 3, so reminder, you only get 2 turns of exceed mode, Clover. First and foremost, Nirvana cannot be flipped during strikes. This is a huge weakness of Clover, the character. It's the fact that you can just shut off Nirvana, and then suddenly all these specials don't work. It's so bad, right? It's so bad. And it's just like, she's disabled for the next strike as well. And it's so bad. But Nirvana can't be flipped during strikes, right? Look at that overdrive effect. You may move Nirvana one space. Super good. Super good for a character that, for a puppet who's one of her biggest liabilities is movement, right? This fixes it. Exceed side Clover fixes it, right? At the cost of 3 gauge. And then on top of that, you can move her 2 spaces in a turn, right? So you can take, you basically have Propeller UA on your Nirvana. As an action, you may move Nirvana 1 space and then strike. So this does fix a lot of Carl Clover's problems, the exceed side. So I do like this, I think. Like I said, it's very limited though, right? So this is a 3 gauge overdrive. But a 3 gauge overdrive means you only get to use it for 2 turns, right? Because the third time you drop your overdrive, you perform the overdrive effect, so you get 3 overdrive effects, but you only get 2 turns of actual exceed side. As we see Plague run into the sandwich, not deciding not to wait for Nirvana to come, says, okay, I'm going to step into the sandwich, give you the +1/+1. So now, I mean, Brio becomes like a disgusting card at 1/4/8. Can mix it up with the Anima at 1/6/3 ignore guard. But pretty spicy decision to pop into the sandwich. Says I'm not gonna wait around for the doll to come to me. I'm gonna come to you, and maybe hope to trade back / hit cleanly. Although hitting cleanly is pretty difficult when this is right. This threat here. Hitting clean is pretty difficult when your opponent has an 8-speed threat over your head. Anyway, Clover's overdrive will go off. Looks like Chykka actually just checking discards here real quick. To see... I don't know, I don't feel like he's not going to pair this reading with a reading. Maybe he could, though. Pair with, like, read sweep and play an Anima. Okay, so drops the cross. Let's see, will he move the Nirvana here? Nope, chooses to stay. Says, okay, you've already done the work for me. You've already given me the sandwich. Just striking with a card. So single card, you have a Brio, Anima mix-up, basically, for the most part. Just gets blocked. And it's going to be the Anima. So Anima, 1/6/3/3. This is the first of all, this is the first time I've seen Anima hit in a long time. This card does not hit very often. Yeah, it has a double sweep trigger on it, right? So the opponent must discard 2 cards at random. Drops the perfect pitch and the focus. So that means Plague's almost out of armored options outside of the Castle Crusher. And yeah, this is a 6 power con Anima. Must be blocked fully by spending 2 force because they ignore its guard. But yeah, like I said, this is the first time I've seen Anima hit in a while, just because you generally don't, unless Clover's exceeded, you generally don't. This card's not very impactful unless you get the sandwich. And I think if you're playing optimally against Clover, you basically never give him the sandwich, unless in like very specific scenarios where you're like forced to. Like here, I mean, when Clover's exceeded, you're kind of forced to do it at times. Um, Plague says, okay, I'm gonna strike here, into the Nirvana. Has an after retreat 3 on it, on his attack. She gets to call whether this is fast or slow, because it could still be a sweep, in which case the Brio would trade. He is going for the Brio. Reads, calls out the grasp. Champ forgetting that he's given Nirvana +1/+1. Clearly, this looks like inexperience against the character, right? This is not this is not Clover. This is not this looks like inexperience against Clover from Champ. Which, to be fair, I mean, not everyone had to spar against Migo 200 times. But yeah, that's going to be a speed 7 grasp, getting outsped by the 8 speed Conbrio. Does spend a spike to validate for it. Clover deals 4 damage overall with this card. However, loses the sandwich, right? Clover can gain it back pretty easily with the exceed side. Champ has no cards in hand again, so I hope this isn't becoming a pattern, right? This is the second time. I hope this is. So this is the second time I've walked into Champ with no cards in hand and like no resources to speak of. I hope this isn't becoming a little bit of a pattern. Staff Surgeon is going to whiff. Can't even flip Nirvana, right? Because Nirvana can't be flipped during strikes. And then yeah, the Foco's gonna. I mean, Foco's on curve there at speed 5. One. I mean, look at that. Unfortunately, Chykka does have to spend 2 force to move Nirvana. Yeah, just making sure Chykka spent 2 force. So basically, because Nirvana was on top of Plague, Nirvana could not could not hit unless that before trigger happened. Anyway, the Foco deals 7 more damage. Clover should flip back. I think Chykka's just deciding whether he wants to move the Nirvana. Yep, okay, so decides to put Nirvana on top of Plague again. Range 0, which of course means that Plague can disable the Nirvana for free if Plague is fast enough. Although that was a heavy expenditure of resources from Carl, probably just prepping. I don't know, it just feels like matchup inexperience, like just Plague just not really understanding how to deal with the Nirvana situation. Clover spends 1 force in the form of the die to move back to range 2. It's interesting. Why? Is he set threatening a Cantabile? On curve Cantabile to maintain the sandwich after the fact, maybe? Is a threat. Light, however, gets boosted, so any dreams of Cantabile are now dead unless Chykka can match the speed. I mean, Chykka does. So the thing is, right? I believe both perfect pitches are down. So Chykka does still have the dominant speed option on his turn. Because both perfect pitches are down. Or I believe both are. Because I think one got discarded. And the other one was spent as force for Serum Supernus. So if that's the case, and both perfect pitches are down, Chykka does have the dominant speed option despite this light. The dominant speed option, of course, being an 8-speed Brio, second copy. So I wonder if Chykka just strikes with that right away if he has it. It has a push 2 effect. So basically the only thing that would trade with it is the focus. Which I believe Plague Knight has 1 copy of. Let's see, 2 in hand, 5 in deck. Playing a character that accelerates through his deck super quickly. He just draws a bunch of cards and then spends a bunch of cards and then draws a bunch of cards, etc., etc. Wait, we're gonna see Chykka challenge this +2 speed with light, with a strike. So let's see if it is that Brio. Right. Cantabile is speed 7, so would lose to the cross, but beat basically everything else. Or, like, outspeed everything else, excuse me. So I guess there's a world where it could be Cantabile. Chain reaction, I feel like it's not going to work. Yeah, chain reaction is too slow for everything. Yep, Brio will go first. 1, 4, 8. Chykka spends a Foco from Gage's Force. Will hit for 4 and will push Plague 2. Probably just push him back. Probably just push him back. I mean, you do still have to contend with a long pitch, which I believe there might be 1 left. But, I mean, look at this health differential. Just stay away, Plague. Stay away. Because Plague, Plan A for Plague is generally this more brawly playstyle. Okay, Plague just preps, standing at range 4. Nirvana just inches closer. Notably, both Brios are down, so the mix-up that Nirvana normally throws out range 1 is not really a mix-up anymore. Because Brios are down, there's only a single Anima left. And there's a single Foco left as well, I believe. So it might be time for a reshuffle soon from Clover, actually. Maybe Clover is trying to win with the Deus Ex Machina, I have no idea. Reading into Deus Ex Machina would be pretty funny. Oh, Clover only has 3 gauge. Deus costs 4. But so far, Chykka all over the Plague Knight here. I think Champ definitely showing a little bit of inexperience when it comes to this particular character. Okay, Chykka, or looks like Plague going for the reshuffle here. Makes sense here. Don't want just that guaranteed die to reading, so this seems fine. Back to Chykka here. Chykka can, in theory, just boost Assault and just, like, be here. And then have Nirvana just brawl out with Plague. I'd more realistically force the Nirvana to come in. Force the Plague to spend all his resources to come in, because there is an onus on you. To, like, in a lot of cases when people kind of establish range 8, they don't really set an onus on their opponent to move in. But in this case, with Nirvana here and Clover here, there is a big onus for a Plague to move in and spend a lot of resources to do so. Anyway, Nirvana on top of Plague now, so sandwich achieved. This is going to be a strike here, so this is going to be like a dive Foco Anima mix-up. Oh, the Rhapsody Memories at speed 4 also works. Yeah, forgot about this one. 0 to 1, 6, 5, 5. So this is above curve, right? Because Clover's at range 4. 5 speed, 6 power, hit draw 2, after pick your range as well. We'll beat the Wild Swing dive. Notably, Rhapsody would be pretty bad if Nirvana could be flipped, but of course has the passive Nirvana cannot be flipped. Very, very important that this card has that. And then, of course, Carl gets supreme placement on whether, like, positioning on where he wants to be. Advance or retreat up to 2 can be as close as range 2, as far away as range 6. Honestly, just go back to range 6 and force your opponent to move in. Yeah, Chykka agrees with me there. Like, force out move action, or a boost, because Plague does have basically 4 copies of Run, because he does have Bomb Burst. So yeah. Clover does move to Plague does move to range 3 from Clover. Second Foco is on curve, 175, not bad. And notably does hit from this position. Chykka boosting Fierce. Curious decision. Does Chykka have EX Assault left? I think Chykka has EX Assault left. I feel like we have not seen an Assault come out from Chykka. Chykka checking his own discard to see what he is telegraphing. Notably, both blocks, this is a problem, both blocks got caught in the gauge before the reshuffle. That could be a problem for a character with only 5 HP. Attempting to mount a comeback against a 25 HP character, because one unbeatable attack and you're done, right? So this is a, I mean, it doesn't take a genius to figure out who's winning in this game so far, but looking pretty bad here. His Plague spends 2 force to move to range 1. Now slow attacks are looking really good from Clover. Unless like Plague gets a lucky graft of dive onto his attack. A slow attack is looking really good here from Clover. Especially because Plague Knight did spend 1 cross already. I believe Clover's just out of fast options, though, I feel like. Because he's down both Grasps, and he's down both Brios. Brio doesn't really matter in this scenario. I want to say down both crosses, but maybe I'm mistaken on that. Anyway, Chykka spends backstep to move to range 3. So maybe telling me that he doesn't have EX Assault? Although I really felt like Chykka had EX Assault. Okay, Plague just going for it here. 6 cards at random, and we're going to be grafting something to our... I mean, I feel like you have to. After Advanced Retreat 1 isn't going to do a whole lot, except it means that your sweeps become way more reliable. After Advanced Retreat 1 or 2... or, interesting. EX Giant Bomb no longer in Plague Knight's hand, I guess. So, I mean, this means that Chykka's slows are going to be really unreliable. If Chykka did have EX Assault, I'm really not a fan of spending backstep. Because I feel like EX Assault just wins games here. Oh, but EX Tablet is, I mean, speed 7. Speed 8 also wins games. This is 5 power, right? So we have 2 power here, 4 power, 5 power. That's game. Who needs EX Assault when you still have EX Cantabile up? It's basically just better EX Assault here, right? Not bad. I mean, it does less damage, but does enough damage with the Fierce tacked onto it. And Chykka takes game 2 in a dominating fashion with the Clover over the Plague Knight. Not even close. Just looked like a lot of matchup inexperience from Champ, however. So at least won't have to deal with the Clover anymore. So Chykka has 2 characters left. He must win with either Fight or Carmine to take this set and move to the semifinals, where he would face either Migo or Zeus Pegasus 13. Champ has to go for the reverse sweep. So that's pretty daunting in a world where you play best of 5. So Chykka has to lose 3 times, and Champ has to win 3 times. Otherwise, Champ's tournament ends here. But yeah, pretty, super dominating game 2 here from Chykka. Relatively dominating game 1 as well, although I didn't really see the first half of it. But Chykka looked like in control of that, because Rachel just, ran out of resources. I mean, again, you guys know the story, because you guys saw the action. I did not see the action, so I don't know the story behind how Rachel ran out of resources so quickly, but... I mean, that's just not something that can happen. That's not something that should be happening to you as Rachel. If you're, putting yourself in that positioning to lose all your resources. Because Rachel, man, she's a resource-intensive character. When her stuff works, and it works really well, but it takes a lot of force to make Rachel work. Looks like Champ is taking a bit of a break here, thinking... Okay, he's back. Maybe just taking a walk, clearing his mind. Down 2-0, so we'll have to pull off the reverse sweep if he wants to keep his dreams of winning the tournament alive. I wonder if Chykka just goes for the fight here. Says I don't even need the Carmine to beat you. I'm just gonna win with my three non I don't know, my non top tier characters. Okay, looks like these guys are in voice now. That's a flex on them. I'm winning 2-0 now. You can hear my voice as I crush your tournament dreams. That's definitely a flex. So at the very least, because Chykka's won 2-0, or winning 2-0 rather, not a whole lot of surprises on the character select screen for Chykka, right? It's either the fight or the Carmine. Champ, let's see. Let's take a look at Champ's record here. So Champ, up until this point, was 10-5. He's gone 1-1 with the Zangief. He was 5-2 with the Plague Knight. So Plague Knight was a character that he relied on quite a bit in pools and did quite well. 5-2 with the Plague Knight. So I wonder if he stakes his tournament life on the Plague again. 3-1 with the Rachel as well, and then 1-1 with Gordel. So definitely relied heavily on the Plague and the Rachel to get him to this juncture. So I wonder if he goes for one of those characters again. Chykka says, yeah, don't need the Carmine to beat you. We're going for the fight. And fight in the Plague is going to be an explosive matchup for sure. Both these characters are really good at generating large red numbers. Of course, we can take a look at fight. When you set your attack, spend up to 2 force for +1 power each. So yeah, this is gonna be a brawl. This is definitely gonna be a brawl. But these characters can just generate disgusting numbers, just raw numbers. So it should definitely be a time and an explosive mashup to boot. We've already taken a look at Plague Knight's kit. Let's take a look at Fight's kit here. So Fight has 3 ultras, first of all, to help with the force expenditures that he must take to empower his attacks. So take a look at the kit here. We'll start. Explosive Shot, one of the meanest turn 1s in the game. 3-5, 3-5, ignore armor. So 3-5, 5-5. Hit at the top card of your discard to your gauge. So Fight's typical turn 1, if he's allowed to go first, is to spend an ultra to hit for 5, ignoring armor, and then adding that ultra back. I mean, that's the level 0 Yummy play. Obviously, you can cross out of it, but that's the level 0 Yummy play. On top of that, we can mix it up here with another Fireball, Electrocharge. So this is a slow guarded Fireball that Fight has to mix it up. This one beats Cross, but outside of that, very niche use. Doesn't really see a lot of play from what I've seen. Unless the opponent's like really out of resources and has screwed themselves. Looks like the game's already off. We have a Retreating Bolts. 3-2-4 before Retreat 2 performs really well. Can perform shockingly well in the corner and gets you additional speed for each force you spent. We see the Power Jump come out from Chykka, so this is the 4th card. Power Jump is a pretty mediocre strike. 2 power, I didn't even realize it was 2 power. 2 power, 3 speed, 4 defenses. That is an incredibly mediocre card. Hit, retreat 2 after push 1, whatever. Dash is a key charge, basically, which is good. Take a look at the ultras here as well. Lightning Gun, 2 gauge. Spend 2 force, spend 3 force on this, and it's 1-3, 8-6. So of course, Fight can spend 3 force for +1 power each on backside. So pretty monstrous card, range 3, speed 6. We like to point those out a lot. Railgun, a little bit niche because it's a little bit expensive. Fight generally doesn't really build up 4 gauge super easily, especially if he's aggressively using his UA. But I mean, speed 5, pretty good Fireball, right? Speed 5, power 7. And then Flamethrower is your ignore guard option, which can have just insane range on it, right? Can hit all the way up out to range 4, especially on backside. Anyway, we're going to see the Bait Bomb boosted from Plague, so this is going to be spend 1 force to look at the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 to your gauge, and add 1 to your hand, and then draw the second one. This looks like Plague gauges the grasp and draws 2. It does cost a force, but decent boost, especially if you're not needing to use the after on this right away. And Chykka's striking with a card here, spending 2 force to do so, spends the Flamethrower, and we are looking at an Electrocharge situation Does Plague have either a dive or a cross? Plague does not have either of those. It's going to be the block. It is going to be a 7 power Electro Charge coming out here. We were just talking about how this card's kind of niche, but I mean, you're standing at range 6 and Plague effectively passes turn or just prepares there. Or effectively prepares. Or like change cards even, but so Fight able to hit the early Electro Charge. This is going to be against 7 power. Plague spends 2 force and takes 1 damage. 2 force from hand, notably. So Plague does have the 2 gauge if he wants to seed soon. And looks like that's exactly what's going to happen here. Early seed for Plague, and we've seen Champ, especially in the last game, go for really aggressive discards for the UA. Chykka says, well, I mean, you can't hit me at range 6, I'm just going to prepare. Plague obviously can only hit at range 5 with the long pitch. Looks like we have another prepare from the Plague Knight. Back to Chykka here. Okay, Chykka boosting Fierce plus 2 power for when Plague moves in. And if Plague doesn't move in, then of course we're threatening second Electro Charge, right? So the Plague really has to... So the issue with range 6 here for Plague is that the boosts, the movement boosts, namely Run and Bomb Bounce, I want to say? Bomb Burst, excuse me. Not Bomb Bounce. Bomb Bounce is the tanker boost, of course. The problem with these boosts is that they only move you here. And when you move here, you are almost certainly getting popped by an explosive shot. Right. So as Plague... What's the recommended course of action? One of them, funnily enough, would be move back to range 8, where this Fierce can't hurt you. A second one would be to spend Force to move to range 2. Right? Spend 4 Force to move to range 2. Very expensive, though, right? The issue with moving back to range 8 is that Chykka just spends 2 Force to move to range 6, right? And then suddenly you're in the corner, and now the onus is on you to move in again. So you're basically trading force for force there. The issue with moving to range 2, however, is that now you are dealing up close with a Fight that can graft plus 4 power onto his attack. So a little bit of a tough choice there for Plague. Let's see how Champ wants to handle this. Yeah, Champ looking at that explosive shot, saying, can't just boost cross. Parry? That's going to be second copy of block. Parry whiffs. I'm assuming it's a parry on the explosive shot. And we see a hand of Retreating Bolts, Lightning Gun, EX Railgun, 1 and 2. Interesting. Very interesting hand. So, a little bit of a bluff from Chykka. Right, you don't necessarily need to have the threats in your hand to threaten them if your opponent doesn't know. Right, so even though Chykka doesn't have the aforementioned threats that we were talking about, they were still implicitly being threatened. Plague, however, does diffuse that with the parry. Somewhat diffuse it, rather. At the very least, Plague is very happy that Chykka does not have 4 gauge for the Railgun, because Railgun unironically looks like a decent play here. Yep, and that's second copy of Block Down for Plague. Is Chykka willing to go for a re-dive into playing Sweep? Would tech his own boost if he whiffs is the issue. Rather expensive, spending 2 cards in hand. If it hits, Chykka is winning the game hard. Because now standing at range 3 with Fight in the corner. Fight has a tricky speed 6 option in hand. I mean, obviously has the LG. Oh, Electro Charge is parry, interesting. Okay. So it's like a parry on the current threat instead of the future threat. Looks like we're going to see Chykka spend 3 force to move to range 3, directly threatening that Lightning Grunt at speed 6. Spent the retreating bolts and the focus and the sweep to do so. It's like one potential play for fight would be to read a dive and then play a sweep, right? That gets rid of your normals there, so you can't be red. And but it's a little bit high rolly, right? If it whiffs, I mean, you're giving play an opportunity to like move in with an assault. You're teching your own fierce boost. Chykka says no. I think I can extract more reliable value by moving to range 3 and threatening an 8 power lightning gun. 1 to 3, 8, 6 with both of Plague Knight's blocks down. That is going to be a tough thing for Plague to deal with if he continues to stand at range 3. Definitely needs to move somewhere. You gotta go and you can't stay here. What that's not the saying. I feel like the saying is you gotta go but you can't stay here or something like that. I don't know. Okay. This is one way for Plague to deal with the boost, deal with the threat. Just boost light. Just boost light. So this is one of the issues with Chykka walking a little bit into the belly of the beast here at range, at a range where he can interact with the opponent, is that the opponent can just respond with the light boost. Right. Because if Chykka didn't move, let's say Chykka went for the read dive play sweep, for example, right? If Chykka went for that, if that hits, first of all, you cash out, so it's fine. If it whiffs, the onus is still on Plague Knight to move in. So Chykka does move into the. He walks a little bit into Plague Knight's territory, right? Because Plague Knight it's Plague Knight's turn once Chykka walks in, so Plague Knight can respond with the light. Which is why I was suggesting the read dive play sweep line instead. Because now has to contend with the light, and we can take a look at his hand, and his hand is not really equipped to deal with light, right? Oh, is he moving back to range 6 now? Is Chykka moving back to range 6? Or did he change cards 3? Change cards 2, drawing 3. No, moving to range 1. The landward light doesn't matter. Telegraphing that he's drawn a slow here. Telegraphing that he's drawn the focus even. Because obviously a speed 8 Staff of Surging pops sweep, right? So just telegraphing that he's drawn like a focus basically. Plague has like a weird speed 8 cross Staff of Surging mix up to beat focus sweep. That's a funny mix up for sure. Wow, that's really goofy. That's exceptionally goofy. But I really do think Chykka only moves to range 1 if he's drawn the focus and not the sweep. Because, the Yomi level 0 threat is probably Staff of Surging, and then the Yomi level 1 is the cross. So, I'm assuming that Chykka has a focus in hand. Second copy of focus, so that's why he's moved to range 1. Maybe I'm just misreading the situation altogether. And maybe Chykka's drawn like a cheeky EX, but the cheeky EX there's no way Chykka has drawn a cheeky EX that contends with the light boost. The light boosted Staff of Surging. So we're gonna see the Berserker's Brew come out, now spend up to 3 force, then strike, and this is what I was alluding to earlier. And are we grafting multiple cards on here? We probably are. We're grafting hit plus 2 power. So we've got plus 5 power. We are grafting plus 7 power. We're grafting plus 7 power, plus 2 speed on a Staff of Surging, perhaps. Chykka, you have walked into the wrong neighborhood, my friend. Oh, it's just an assault. That is a 9 power assault. Sorry, that's an 11 power assault. Chykka has 1 armor, so he takes only 10 damage. Obviously, is stunned. Yeah. Now hindsight being 2020. Chykka definitely walked into the wrong neighborhood. Fortunately for Chykka, first of all, Fight is the character that makes good comebacks, right? Life deficits are not a problem for this character. This character can hit back hard. The problem here for Plague Knight, in fact, is the fact that we spent both Castle Crashers and we didn't get a whole lot of value out of them. We only got +4 power out of them, really. So don't get me wrong, that was a really, really impactful strike, right? That was a huge impactful strike as Chykka boosts defend. Defend with the lightning gun looks extremely good here. Right, don't get me wrong, that was a good strike from Plague. 10 damage is nothing to sneeze at, right? That's pretty much as high as damage numbers will go past Season 2. But Plague spent 3 Ultras, right? Spent 2 copies of Serum Supernus, which is the easier one. Which is the easier boost to graft on to an attack. To like increase the chances of it hitting, right? Because it adds speed. And tacked on and spent 1 Berserker's Brew as well. And we're gonna see Champ strike again into the defend boost with a hit push or pull 1 or 2. The only way this makes sense is if this is also grasp, right? And then you just really want to push them really far away to not get lightning gunned. That's what it feels. That's what the telegraph feels like. It could also be a cross. Same deal, right? With a cross. So this feels like either grasp or cross to me. With a hit, push or pull 1 or 2. So I don't want to see Chykka spend the lightning gun. I don't want to see that happen. Unfortunately, it's going to be very hard for Chykka to even deal with this. Yeah, Chykka goes for the Wild Swing. Just a block. And yeah, it is the cross as we predicted. Pushing fight here. Plague will go here. So, I mean, one issue with this is that we've now built our 4 gauge for the railgun. But more importantly, like, Explosive Shot is looking extremely good for fight here. But yeah, this is going to be pulling fight to, like, so, I guess Plague is establishing a minimum range of range 4 on Wild Swings, no cards in hand. Again, this looks like Champ really likes to be using his resources here. This is the 3rd game in a row we've seen Champ go to 0 cards in hand. It is extremely scary gameplay. This is something I personally would never do, unless I was down like an insane amount of life. Like this is risky behavior. We're still kind of in the early game when it comes to life totals. Chykka almost assuredly striking here. Has 4 gauge to his name, so can threaten the railgun. But I really want to see just Explosive Shot, so that way we can threaten the railgun next turn. And yeah, that is 100% Explosive Shot. That is going to be a 3/5, 5/5 ignore armor, and yeah, Perfect Pitch is going to whiff. Explosive Shot hits for 5, and now fights back in the game with health totals. Plague is out of resources. Plague's out of Serum Supernuses. This is huge advantage fight. Absolutely massive advantage fight here. The onus is on Plague Knight to move in again, right? Because Chykka has these ranged options that are high speed. This is disastrous. This is absolutely disastrous for Plague Knight. It doesn't look that way, right, from a cursory glance, but this Plague, I think Plague is super far behind. Just Champ just throwing out all of his resources and not really getting a whole lot of value out of them, in my opinion. You can extract way more value than 10 damage out of 2 Serum Supernuses and a Berserker's Brew, in my humble opinion. I guess the only question here is whether Fight goes for the railgun. Fight doesn't go for the railgun. Fight can exceed. When Fight exceeds, he gets super good tempo for the next strike. He's able to bring back 2 continuous boosts from his discard and play him, I believe, for free, if I'm not mistaken. So gets huge tempo swing for the next strike if he wants it. Or can just go for the railgun here at speed 5. Notably, does have to watch out for EX long pitch, which would be speed 6. That is a way to throw the game for Chykka. And looks like we're going to see the export boosted. Now advance to retreat 2. And yeah, retreating 2, getting out of long pitch range. I love this from Chykka. This is so good. I love this. So many people would be tempted to strike with the railgun there. And that's how you lose that. Like, that's, I mean, obviously, very low chance that this is EX long pitch, right? But if it is, as Chykka, you're throwing the game right back into Plague's favor. So just be super safe, right? Plague in a position with really low resources, only 2 gauge and 2 cards in hand. Really low amount of force here. I love this play from Chykka. And this is a play that you will see a lot of mid-level players not make. Anyway, back to Champ here, who has 2 cards to his name. I don't even know. Is this a move action or CC? Probably CC4, drawing 5. No, spending 4 forced to move. Forced. I mean, this is exactly what Chykka wanted, right? Force the move action, moving to range 2. However, so Chykka can't just strike with the lightning gun because can be met with the perfect pitch. Only 2 in hand, 11 in deck. At least 1 DP available, if not 2. So you can't just strike with the lightning gun here, especially when your opponent has hard telegraph that he has the perfect pitch. Chykka just does have a bunch of force to his name, though. Both players now checking the fight discard. Chykka now checking Plague Knight's discard, seeing what options are up. Calculating odds, perhaps, of perfect pitch in hand. Clearly doesn't have the EX Lightning Gun, otherwise you just smash that. Chykka spending force, looks like. Chykka spends, that's 3 gauge to exceed, of course. When you exceed, put a 2 continuous boost from your discard, hand, or gauge into play. So now really trying to take the, so gets that second copy of the Explorer out. Now advances or retreats to, of course these are for free, because they're put into play. I guess put into play implies that they're free. So Chykka gets a Fierce and a second Explorer bout. And crosses over, wants that range 1 now. And Plague, if you're getting hit, that is 4 gauge that fight's going to build here. This is going to be a hugely pivotal combat for Plague here. Or for fight, excuse me. And for Plague, but I guess in the opposite manner. So I guess if a combat's pivotal for one player, it's obviously pivotal for both players. So there you go. I wonder if Chykka has like a guaranteed fast option here at range 1. Plague just goes for the prep. Does Chykka just have like EX Lightning Gun or something? Does he have no, Lightning Gun doesn't even work. Does he just have the second grasp? Perhaps? Well, there's a strike. I'm assuming this is the dominant speed option, right? And Chykka, of course, will be 100% spending force on this. Probably the full 3 if I had to guess. That, maybe the lightning gun as well. No, oh, yeah, I forgot I used railguns. Railguns are not really useful anymore. So yeah, this is a hit. Put the top 4 cards of your deck into your gauge. Plus 2 power, plus 5 power total. And yeah, I mean, Plague, you can graft 10 damage strikes, but guess what? So can Fight. So can Fight. I mean, fast slow mix up, but this is probably just the grasp if I had to guess from Fight. Plague down both blocks, so unless there's like an EX focus or something on deck for Plague, he's losing this strike. Is there like an EX Giant Bomb available? That could armor through an 8 power grasp. But Fight is just gonna refill those resources. And guys, I told you this 10 minutes ago. It looked like a very impressive start from Plague Knight, but in reality, that's all Fight needed. That's all Fight needed to be winning the game. Champ until he reshuffles doesn't even have that much of a threatening discard left, unfortunately. Speed 6 is probably not going to be enough. Yeah, it's Speed 7 Grasp. This is going to be 8 power. And Chykka now has the health lead. Gets 4 gauge off this. 1, 2, 3, 4. No ultras at least. No ultras at least. Just free resources. Pushing Plague to range 3, where of course this now Plague has to contend with the very well known lightning gun, which is now going to do 8 power, and this is so bad. I guess, did Plague need to reshuffle so long ago? I mean, I guess when you spend all your resources, then the answer is yes, probably, but also, like, wow. I have no idea how... Like, Plague just feels so far behind. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't even know what the answer was for Plague once he spent all those resources. Because it's just like, you can't prep, because what are you prepping for? You're prepping for nothing. You're facing on the barrel of an 8 damage lightning gun. You just played Cross. Do you even have a Grasp in your hand? Do you have a Speed 7 option in your hand to beat the lightning gun? Does Chykka even have EX lightning gun? That would be... maybe Chika's hand is known, though. Maybe it is, I don't know. Maybe it's a railgun and a lightning gun, and maybe that's just known. But at its core, I mean, Exceed's a card game. Card games are all about resources. And Chykka has definitely managed his resources better than Champ in all throughout the set, really. So it's no surprise to see Chykka winning, given that fact. Anyway, let's see what Plague Knight can do to make a comeback here. I don't think Plague Knight's 100% out of it. I think Fight's winning this relatively comfortably. Plague Knight spends 1 force move to range 4. Is there an EX long pitch on deck for Plague? I can't remember. Chykka prepares. Plague prepares. I don't really know what... I'm assuming Plague is just preparing for an EX long pitch to contend with the explosive shot and or railgun. Fight uses this opportunity to rebuild his hand as well as the issue, right? So Fight at the end of that sequence took life lead, but had only 2 cards in hand. I mean, they were dominant cards, right? One of them was the lightning gun, so we know that's a pretty dominant card at range 3. But Plague drawing cards, now Fight drawing cards. And I feel like unless there's an EX long pitch on deck for Plague, I don't really understand what's happening. Or what the game plan is for Champ here. At the very least, this means that, I mean, prepping means that he'll eventually get his reshuffle off not manually, but he'll get his reshuffle off, so he'll get his threats back. I mean, there is time, right? It's not all doom and gloom just yet. But there is time for Plague to come back in this game. Notably, Chykka did spend one railgun, so EX railgun no longer an option, nor is the explosive shot. Both electro charges are also down, so Chykka is a little bit dead to the long pitch unless he has a block or something. Anyway, Plague prepares again. 7 in hand, 2 in deck. Now looking like he can even get red. I don't know. Okay, I mean, if Chykka's striking, then that's a guarantee that there is no, that's a guarantee that there's no EX long pitch. I mean, I trust Chykka that he would not strike into a potential EX long pitch here. Like, I trust Chykka's not throwing the game, so, this is probably just the explosive shot second copy. I believe it was the rightmost card struck with as well, so it's not the railgun. Unless, of course, Chykka only had the one railgun, maybe. I don't remember. It was too long ago. But we're looking at an explosive shot or railgun. Doesn't matter. Plague's getting hit here. Surely there's no long pitch, EX long pitch. Cheeky checking that discard one more time. Yep, it looks like he's content with this. I mean, it can't be the railgun anymore, so it's the explosive shot. Doesn't have an ultra, though. Interestingly enough. So with the explosive shot, you really want to put an ultra on the top, because that goes to your gauge. But Chykka did not spend an ultra, spent 4 cards, or 3 cards normally. So we'll only be adding the grasp and the explosive shot to gauge. I mean, that's going to be gauge number 4. So now threatening, on the next turn, a railgun for lethal. So, I mean, Champ's going to have to deal with that at some point. He's just kind of been drawing for cards, but I don't really think the cards that he's drawing are impactful in the scenario that he's in, so... Well, I mean, Champ, I think, is realizing that he's just dead to this card. Well, not dead, but he's taking 6 damage from this card. I think he's realizing that now, if he hasn't realized it already. Oh, I mean, Plague can graft on... Oh, okay. Plague can go for a Hail Mary, like, attached dive. Doesn't hit it, unfortunately. So this is gonna whiff, yeah. Just went for the Hail Mary, tack on an assault, but overdrew for it. I forgot that's an option. But yeah, I guess that makes sense. You can just try to go for that. Unfortunately, it does not pan out. I mean, had a 2 and 6 to hit the assault. I thought that Plague was out of assaults and dives, but I guess I was wrong. I guess I should have mentioned that, because I kind of look silly there. I thought that Plague was out of assaults and dives, I'm not gonna lie. But clearly had one assault in the hand, and trying to pull it with this thing to hit the DP to outspeed the explosive shot, right? So with a perfect pitch before advance 2, or before close 2, excuse me, could have outsped the explosive shot from range, but not meant to be here. Finally going for the reshuffle is Plague Knight. Chykka just counting what 6 cards are left. Unfortunately, for Plague, there's an assault here that's readable. That's super readable. Right, there's like a guaranteed assault in his hand. If Chykka has a focus left, which I don't know if he does. Maybe he doesn't have a focus left in his deck. Plague's going to need to evacuate this assault soon, otherwise that assault's just going to get red. So the railgun that Chykka is threatening speed 5. Okay, doesn't matter. Chykka is actually just spending 1 force to move in to range 3. Does he have the EX Assault on deck? No, he doesn't. What does he have on deck for... Oh, wait, the lightning gun, obviously. Speed 6. I mean, Plague can graft before advance 2 on a grasp or something, right? I mean, that's what Champ was trying to do before. We know that Champ has an assault in his hand. We know that, right? That's fact. Which, again, I do apologize for missing that, but... Okay, unexpected results. Now advance to retreat 2, moving to range 1. Hit, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a normal, gauge it. Otherwise, +2 power it. But more importantly, moves Plague into range 1. Where that lightning gun is no longer a dominant speed option. Fight now standing at range 1. No grasps to his name. So just has basically slow options. Outside a speed 6 cross and a speed 6 lightning gun. Maybe it's time for Fight to reshuffle soon, depending on what's left. Because Fight, I mean, the kit doesn't really have a whole lot of melee options, right? I mean, no reliable melee options for specials. And Ultra, speed 6, speed 5. Both unguarded. Chykka lining up for... Is that just EXLG? Is that just the EX Lightning Gun? No, it's not, because he's not spending... He's not spending force on it. What is this? EX Sweep? Let's take a look. It's not EX Sweep. Is it really the... Why is there no force expenditure? If it's the EX Lightning Gun. Wait, it's not the EX Lightning Gun. Oh, it's EX Returning Bolts. Okay. So this card deceptively says range 3, but really when you're not in the corner, it's range 1. It's before retreat 2, +1 speed for each force you spent this turn. So Chykka spent 3 force. This is going to be a 1/6/8. Oh, it's EX Cross. Okay, never mind. We didn't take a good look at that discard, I guess. It's going to be 7 power EX Cross. Obviously pops the defensive spike, which misses anyway. Fight now at range 4. 2 gauge. Plague caught in the middle of nowhere at range 4. Just prepping. I mean, now actually has cards to prep for, which is good. Chykka preps in response. I believe we saw that only 1 focus was spent. So, I mean, a reading assault is almost assuredly coming unless Champ spends it. Like, almost assuredly coming, because it was so strongly telegraphed that there was an assault in Plague Knight's hand at this moment. When Chykka played the explosive shot, of course, and Plague tried to play the perfect pitch, so... I mean, Plague's gonna have to get rid of that at some point. I guess it would be funny if, if Plague has his assault red, right? If Plague has his assault red, he's not necessarily dead, right? And here's why. Plague can have his assault red. He'd move here, right? Plague can graft like a dive onto it and then end up here and like dive over a slow, right? So the typical read of assault here would be read assault into play like a spike or a slow, right? Fight, however, so fight does that. Play can play an assault, right? End up here, but can graft things on it, right? Can graft a dive on it, and end up here and dodge the slow. So I mean, reading assault is actually not guaranteed when you're fighting against Plague Knight for that reason, because you can just graft additional triggers onto it. Very, very cool character. Very, very cool character, very strong character. Wow. Okay. See, the Frantic Research boosted, now draw 2 cards, then strike after draw 2 cards. Range 4, pretty suspect for playing outside of the long pitch, right? But the long pitch is the dominant speed option here. I mean, long pitch dive is basically all this is, unless we're grafting on additional triggers. Okay, commits to a card, shuffles his hand. Let's see what we get added onto it. +2 power. Okay. There goes the Serum Supernus though. +4. Oh no! There goes Water Plague's win cons. Both Serum Supernus pulled on that trigger. And I mean, that's what happens when you're playing when you're playing this as random. This is probably just gonna get blocked by Chykka, whatever this is. It's an assault that whiffs all that value down the toilet. At least Plague draws 2 cards. But oh, Champ just going for it. Says I'm at 3 HP, you're 20. I gotta go for these RNG pulls with the UA, and does not work out for Plague Knight. At the very least, Plague does get the draw 2, but without Serum Supernus, how are you winning this game as Plague Knight? How are you winning this game as Plague Knight? How are you winning this game as Plague Knight? Absolutely brutal pulls there off the UA. Chykka maybe going for the reshuffle here? I don't really know what Chykka's drawing for. We took a quick glance at Chykka's discard. But I immediately forgot it, so. It's going to be an expenditure of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 force. Maybe CC 7, drawing 8. Discarding the no normal in his hand. 2 no normals in the hand. Spicy. So that was a CC 7 drawing 8. So Chykka will have a no normal in his hand. I don't know why Chykka didn't spend an additional force to get rid of both these normals, because keeping a normal in hand means that you can get red, and it's not, I mean, obviously it's gonna take a lot more than one reading for Plague to win this game, but one reading is how that comeback gets started, right? So I really don't like that force expenditure. Yes, you no longer threaten ultras, but man, now you're getting red here for free. So do you want your focus red or do you want your spike red, Chykka? Chykka says, Chykka says, please read my focus. Valuing to keep the 2 gauge. But potentially taking like 5 damage here. No reading. Okay, Chykka gets away with it. Gets away with one there. As Plague Knight boosts light at range 2. Chykka says, you didn't read my normal before? Let me attach stun immunity. Deadlock boots. I didn't even know the name of this boost. You see it so rarely. Does cost a force. Probably just gonna drop the known focus for that. Yep, and there goes the known focus. And there's an advance or retreat 1. Chooses to retreat 1, interestingly enough. I would have expected, like, maybe an advance 1 to threaten a flamethrower. Like a 1-4 stun immune flamethrower. Right. But Chykka has different plans. Says, I'm going to retreat instead. Gets teched out by the Plague, however. Does the stun immunity. So now, facing down the barrel of a light boost at range 3. There's another reason why. I guess there you go. There's another reason I manufactured on why I would have preferred range 1 to range 3. Of course, we don't know the hand that Chykka has. Chykka could just have a fire hand at range 3. So, like, for example, if he has like EX lightning gun, that contests the light boost, right? Because that's speed 7, and the fastest Plague can go without an EX in hand. Plague could go to speed 8 with the EX long pitch, but Chykka can contend speed with speed 7, although I do think it's just a little bit of throwing if he just swings with that. I think Chykka's a patient enough player to just wait for a more guaranteed strike. Although now staring down the barrel of a light at range 3, so not where you want to be if you're a fight at this point in time. Chykka boosts defend. Defend into an EX lightning gun is looking pretty good. So that beats dive, that beats assault, and beats spike. It loses to EX dive, but EX dive no longer a threat. Loses to EX assault no longer a threat. Actually doesn't lose to EX assault. But and then obviously lightning guns can outspeed that spike every single time, even with the light up. So I'm a big fan of this defend boost from Chykka. Basically just hedging the bets here. Also, this defend boost means that an EX lightning gun, I mean, if that's even the card that Chykka has, an EX lightning gun beats long pitch as well. EX long pitch, which is only 6 power, unable to pop the defenses of the lightning gun. Of course, this all assumes that Plague doesn't graft anything, but the issue is Plague already spent both of his Castle Crashers. Plague can graft additional power by adding a long pitch to his attack, however, which does change the math somewhat, right? Such as something to watch out for. Because Plague is a pretty complicated character when it comes to actually figure out what the actual threat is because of his ability to graft, and it's especially difficult when, you know, the at random part of the UA actually matters. Okay, we're gonna see Plague go for a strike here. Only one card. Pulls a hit, push, or pull 1 or 2 on it. Are we gonna see anything else? If we're not going to see anything else, then, I mean, EX Lightning Gun just wins the game outright. Regular Lightning Gun would lose to a singular dive. I mean, slow guarded options obviously lose to Spike. I believe the full mix-up is available for Plague at this juncture. And Plague says he's happy with the hit push or pull 1 or 2 as well. I wonder why Plague would be happy with that. Like, what does the hit push or pull 1 or 2 accomplish on this attack? I have no idea what it accomplishes. I mean, oh, Chykka's not mashing EX Lightning Gun, so he doesn't have that. There you go. That's saving grace. Chykka going for the Wild Swing says, I'm not dealing with this. It's a spike. It's an explosive shot. The spike will outspeed the explosive shot, dealing 5 damage. At the very least, I mean, Fight has a billion HP, so this is not the biggest deal in the world. Pulls. Oh, okay. So it's actually purely set up for the next strike. Okay, I see. It's purely set up for the next strike, so that way Fight cannot strike with the lightning gun here. Actually, really well done from Plague Knight. Really well done from Plague Knight there. Guaranteeing the range 2 where Plague Knight has the dominant speed option. You know what would be saucy? Chykka striking with a spike with +3 power. It's throwing the game. It's throwing the game somewhat, but we see the dash come out. So advance or retreat 2. However, Chykka did move past the opponent, so it does not add to gauge. Granted, power jump is such a mech card. Like, look at this card. There's no typos on this card. Literally, the highest number on this card is a 3. Is that the highest number on a card ever? It's like that and like Ceiling Hoplon. Have only a 3 on them as their highest card. That's an interesting piece of trivia. What there's your question for the comments. What printed exceed card has the lowest number on it? Right? So like this has the highest number on this is 3. I mean, Jin has that card. Jin actually has a good card like that. Ori has a good card like that. Poor Fight ends up with this garbage. Anyway, we see the unexpected results boosted. Now advance or retreat 2. And then hit add power maybe. So Plague takes range 2 again. Threatening now a 5 power perfect pitch. With RNG, of course. Plague running out of cards in hand though. Only 3 cards in hand. I mean, if Fight has Assault, you just boost Assault here, right? Yeah, there it is. What? We moved to range 1? Why not just leave? Just leave, dog. Alright, whatever. Fight moves to range 1. Maybe it's EX Grasp or something, who knows. But Plague's gonna have to contend with this. I mean, this Plague Knight player really wants range 2, so let's see if Plague spends another resource to move back to range 2 to threaten that speed 7 perfect pitch mix-up. Okay, runs to range 3. Interesting. Had the option to go to range 2 there, but chose not to. What does that tell you? I mean, Fight slams Lightning Gun in this scenario. Why move to range 3? I'm not sure what's happening here. Is Plague Knight trying to bait the Lightning Gun out? But the only problem with baiting the Lightning Gun out is that you have so few resources yourself. So, I mean, if Fight goes for a fully charged Lightning Gun, right, which he doesn't even need to. If Fight goes for a Lightning Gun, right, it's going to be 8 power. If that gets blocked by Plague Knight has to spend all of this stuff to take no damage, right? Or he keeps one of them. No, he spends all of it to take no damage. So if this is not a bait, if this is not baiting out the Lightning Gun, what is this? Range 3 is not some strong forte for Plague Knight. You have 3 HP, so it's not like you're going to trade. And, I mean, here comes an EX, and it's going to be tacked on with +3 power for sure. +2 power. Um, I mean, oh, I mean, going for a before close 3 dive. But unfortunately, it's EX Lightning Gun at speed 7. Okay, I see the plan, but the plan does not work out. Chykka takes game 3, and game 3 was it was in a rather dominant fashion. Although, to be fair, there was some RNG elements with the explosive shot in the middle there against the perfect pitch, unable to pull the assault. Yeah, I mean, this is a play that hedges directly against the lightning gun, but doesn't hedge against the EX lightning gun, which is kind of the threat that I had pictured in my mind all along, which Chykka did end up having at speed 7. So the grasp unable to contend. The grasp with the dive tacked onto it, unable to contend with that. Chykka takes the set 3-0, moves on to semifinals in dominating fashion, might I add. Champ, condolences to Champ. Made top 8, which is really, really cool. That's a name that I haven't really seen before. So I'm excited to see that name in the future for future tournaments, because they did perform quite well in the tournament. I mean, went 4-2 in pools, right? Before running up into Chykka, who's one of the strongest players in our scene. So yeah, good showing from Champ overall. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, feel free to leave a like, subscribe, follow, comment, all that good stuff. Really enjoy watching these Exceed videos, or making these Exceed videos for you guys. I hope you guys enjoy the commentary as always. But until next time, don't know when the next match will be happening. I think Moriarty is playing Mr. Lufisto tomorrow, but I'm probably unable to catch that because it's in the middle of the afternoon. But hopefully I'll be able to catch at least 1 or 2 more of these playoff matches as we wind down this this big tournament. First major tournament of the year, really, right? Like the first major tournament since Junkie Shapes returns. So it'll be exciting to see who wins. Best of 5 all the way through. You got to win with 3 characters, no flukes. I mean, some flukes, but not really. But I'm excited to see what comes next. But thank you guys so much for watching one more time, and we'll see you for the next one. Bye-bye.